Hey there, crypto family. Welcome back to the channel. It's great to have you here again. I hope you're having an absolutely amazing day, no matter where you are in this incredible world of ours. Today we're diving deep into XRP, and let me tell you, I've got some seriously exciting stuff to share with you. First up, let's talk about something that really caught my attention from Reese Marek. Here's a quick reminder that honestly gave me goosebumps. We have never been in a better position heading into a new year. Think about this for a second. We've completely moved past the days when regulation was this massive roadblock. Those clear frameworks that financial institutions have been desperately waiting for, they're finally here. And guess what that means? We're about to see these institutions move from just exploring crypto to actually implementing it on a massive scale. What's really blowing my mind is how fast everything is moving globally. Ripple isn't just positioned well in the United States, they're strategically placed in every major country around the world. So don't just expect momentum from the US market. We're going to see this wave building momentum everywhere. Let's talk about real-world asset tokenization for a minute. This industry has matured into a regulated $30 billion market, and it's dominated by absolute giants like BlackRock, FDI, US Ondo Finance, and others leading the charge. But here's the thing that really excites me. Tokenization should already be way bigger than it is right now. The only thing holding it back? You guessed it, regulations. But once we get those regulatory frameworks in place around tokenization, that's it. That's when we're going to witness the real boom begin, and it's going to be absolutely massive. The numbers here are just mind-blowing. Stablecoin supply has surged over 50% just this year alone, and we're currently sitting at a $310 billion market cap. The forecasted growth across real-world assets and stablecoins, we're talking about moving into the trillions in the coming years. Now, let's talk about something that should get every XRP holder excited. Crypto ETFs have seen steady accumulation, with approximately $29.3 billion in net inflows this year. But here's what's different this time around. The hype and speculative money flows have been replaced by sticky, long-term institutional capital. What does that mean? The money flowing into these ETFs isn't going to just flow right back out like we've seen before. This is long-term, locked-up capital. And speaking of XRP ETFs, multiple launches are showing clear institutional interest, approaching $1 billion in assets under management in under a month. I don't think we're going to see those inflows slow down anytime soon. Not in the coming weeks, not in the coming months. I believe we're going to continue seeing massive inflows for XRP ETFs. Here's what's really fascinating. Financial institutions aren't just looking to replace their existing systems. They're actively looking to incorporate blockchain technology to improve payment settlement times, reduce costs, and increase liquidity. It's honestly such an exciting time to be building at the intersection of crypto, traditional payments, and tokenization, especially with Ripple leading the charge. You know what? I'm still not done with 2025 yet, but I'm already pumped for what's coming in 2026. Even with the current price of XRP, I'm seeing everyone giving up, saying things like, the breakout's not going to happen by the end of this year. But I absolutely believe we're going to see XRP start to run up. Right now, XRP is holding strong at $2, while Bitcoin is eyeing a potential Santa rally. The momentum is building fast, and analysts are starting to track early signals of a potential major run. Raoul Pal, Tom Lee, and many other respected analysts are saying Bitcoin is about to break out and have a Santa rally. Now, if that happens, it's going to pull the entire market up with it. We might even see XRP achieve a new all-time high by the end of December. I would not count out XRP in 2025. Not even close. The XRP ledger activity surge is signaling growing momentum, and it's building fast. When you look at this momentum on the XRP ledger and all this expansion happening, project after project onboarding, even without immediate price appreciation, and then combine that with all the institutional money flowing into XRP spot ETFs, that means more and more XRP is coming out of circulation. And we all know what happens when supply decreases while demand increases. Here's something that's going to blow your mind. Eventually, XRP is going to reflect all of that value we just talked about. And I think we're rapidly approaching a point where even if Bitcoin comes down, XRP is simply not going to follow it anymore. I genuinely believe we're about to see XRP decouple from Bitcoin in the short term, and it's all because of those ETF inflows and the massive momentum and activity happening on the XRP ledger. Before we dive deeper, I had to share this gem from Michael Orrington. Hey, Brad Garlinghouse, your team is doing an excellent job of failing to screw up. Well done. I mean, come on. That's honestly the best backhanded compliment I've heard in crypto. But in all seriousness, the Ripple team really is executing flawlessly. Now, let's talk about something exciting. Ripple's RLUSD on Ethereum continues its climb, currently sitting at $1.1 billion in market cap. Right away, I know some of you are thinking, yeah, but that's on Ethereum. How does that benefit me as an XRP holder? Well, let me explain why this is actually amazing for XRP. Crypto lawyer Bill Morgan has been praising Ripple's multi-chain strategy, and here's why it's brilliant. You don't want to keep something contained on just one chain. You want to get that stablecoin out there on other chains as well. That's exactly how you build massive momentum around it. I've always looked at RLUSD as the gateway drug to XRP. Think about it. First, you get the door opened at the bank through a stablecoin. The bank gets comfortable using that stablecoin. Then you come in and say, well, listen, it could be even faster and cheaper if you utilize the secret sauce, XRP. Now that the bank is used to using digital money, they're in a much better position to start utilizing cryptocurrency. It's absolutely genius. This next part comes from Stern Drew, and I thought this was such a brilliant post because it perfectly explains what's happening right now in real time. XRP is quietly becoming the first digital asset with a self-reinforcing liquidity engine that combines macro-scale inflows with protocol-level utility. This isn't speculation, folks. This is mechanical. Let me break down this incredible structure for you. Stage 1. ETF inflows begin the compression. Regulated ETFs are absorbing XRP at a steady pace and removing it from liquid flow. Once inside these structures, units are rarely sold. They become long-term custody assets, not trading inventory. This is stage 1 of float reduction. Stage 2. Exchange reserves shrink. As ETFs accumulate, market makers reprice liquidity. Exchange balances are trending lower, and less inventory on exchanges means thinner sell walls and higher sensitivity to demand. Price becomes more reactive and more efficient. Stage 3. RLUSD corridors add real settlement flow. Ripple's regulated stablecoin creates predictable on-chain liquidity cycles. RLUSD to XRP to fiat flows generate continuous demand pressures that are completely unrelated to speculation. Banks and enterprises prefer settlement assets with predictable throughput, and this expands structural XRP usage. Stage 4. Zero-knowledge identity infrastructure. ZK identity infrastructure is unlocking enterprise-level utility. DNA protocol and similar ZK layers allow identity verification, access control, and compliance checks without revealing sensitive data. This enables financial institutions to use the XRP ledger for high-value flows with full regulatory alignment. Each ZK-verified action settles using XRP as the underlying rail. Stage 5. Institutional custody finalizes the flywheel. When banks, treasuries, and asset managers hold XRP in regulated custody, the circulating float becomes fragmented and permanently reduced. More locked supply means every marginal unit must be purchased in thinner markets. This mathematically forces price revaluation. And that's how you get to 4- and 5-digit XRP in a very short time frame. Here's what's absolutely mind-blowing. This is all already taking place as we speak. We just haven't reached scarcity yet, but everything is coming together perfectly. I still believe that throughout 2026, there's a real chance we see XRP well above 3 digits. And when it happens, it's going to happen so fast that people won't even see it coming. Now, this has been going on for a while, and it's something mainstream media isn't talking about enough. We're seeing outflows on Bitcoin ETFs, while XRP ETFs continue their incredible momentum. Now, here's something that might go against the grain of what everyone else is saying. You keep hearing the same narrative. Those Bitcoin ETF outflows were totally expected. That money is going to come flooding back later, and Bitcoin's price is going to absolutely skyrocket again. But honestly, I think they're all completely wrong. I think they're just desperately trying to hold up their belief system. Here's what I believe is actually happening behind the scenes. The money is flowing out of Bitcoin ETFs because institutions are done with Bitcoin. They're not looking back. They're already looking way beyond it. Think about it. These institutions want exposure to something that actually solves real-world problems. They want something that's going to be actively utilized within the new financial system. They want something with a rock-solid reputation when it comes to moving value efficiently and reliably. And what cryptocurrency fits that description perfectly? XRP. That's exactly why demand is so incredibly high for these XRP ETFs. That's why there are so many spot ETFs launching in the first place. The writing is on the wall, folks. Alright, I have to touch on this for a minute because this is absolutely fascinating. Did you know you can already borrow against your XRP on the XRP ledger? Google literally gives us step-by-step instructions now. Just to be clear, this is happening through companies like Zendex and other innovative platforms building on the ledger. Now, personally, I don't plan on borrowing against my XRP anytime soon. Why? Because I think we're going to see major names like Franklin Templeton opening up these options for XRP holders. You're going to see it offered by other financial giants as well. We're just not quite at that institutional level yet. But here's the crazy part. You could already do this right now through other institutions and projects that are building on the XRP ledger. Important note though, I would not utilize one of these protocols unless somebody else has tested it first. I want to see what the track record looks like before I put my XRP on the line. In other words, I want to make absolutely certain there's no unnecessary risk involved. Always do your own research. Here's a statistic that absolutely floored me. 45% of Gen Z wants crypto for Christmas. For those who might not be familiar, Gen Z, also called Zoomers, are generally people born between 1997 and 2012. That makes them roughly 13 to 28 years old in 2025. They're known as the first truly digital native generation, literally growing up with smartphones and the internet as part of their daily lives. This incredible stat was actually reported on Fox News. And here's the kicker. 28% of older generations want crypto as gifts too. You know what? I've actually bought crypto for family members in the past and given it to them for Christmas. I wanted to get them into the crypto space because here's what I've learned. Once you get somebody into crypto, they never look back. Once the price starts going up and they see how much they've made, they want to buy more. It becomes like a positive addiction that literally pays for itself over time. Gifting crypto is such a genius idea when you think about it. You get somebody started in the space, and then they naturally begin researching the crypto they're holding. They start to understand the technology, the use cases, the massive potential we're all seeing. I genuinely think we're going to see crypto as gifts in 2025 more than ever before. Why? Because people are actively looking for ways to offset inflation, and crypto represents a real hedge against the traditional financial system's problems. What really excited me was seeing this story featured on Fox News. Maybe it will finally wake some people up to what crypto really represents. Crypto isn't going anywhere. It's definitely not going to disappear. In fact, it's going to become an integral part of the financial system. Certain cryptocurrencies, especially XRP, are going to be fundamental building blocks of the new financial infrastructure. The momentum is building faster than ever, and I'm more convinced than ever that we're about to witness something absolutely spectacular in the crypto market, particularly with XRP. What are your thoughts on all of this? Are you seeing the same institutional shift that I'm talking about? Let me know in the comments below. I love hearing your perspectives.